Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and we are back. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Sorry, we are slightly delayed. Now, folks, I need a favor. Can you hear me? Can everyone out there hear me? I'm waiting. I need somebody in the chat to confirm. We're having some technical difficulties. Can you hear me? Can you? Everyone has so much to say until I have a question.
Yeah, now we go. I got you. Sorry.
All that, you bonehead.
Sorry. Blame it on me. Blame it on the diva.
There we go. Thank you. So yeah. So we had some difficulties where
Welcome
to the show. It is Wednesday night, so we know what that means. We're getting AEW Dynamite. Lots going on. Lots to talk about. Again, will it be entertaining? Will it be exciting? Will it be a dumpster fire? Who's going to beat up who this week? Who's back from suspension? Who's taking pictures with Sonic the Hedgehog? Lots to talk about, folks. We will take you through it. We are the Wrasslin for Life Network. This is AEW Dynamite. I'm glad you can hear me. Can you hear me, Nick?
What?
Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live. We are ready to go, and we are audible, which is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. Like I said before we kicked it off, we got Wednesday in the books. Hump Day is over. We're going to cap it off with some wrestling. What do you got in the ring right now, Nick?
I have Jon Moxley and Sammy Guevara kicking it off. So we've got the first half of the AEW title Grand Slam semifinals kicking it off right now. And yes, mea culpa for the technical difficulties and everything. Apparently, you know, like what's his name there from NXT? The Super Diva has arrived.
Oh, you can't. Did you just compare your? Wow.
Well, I'll take that L for this one.
All right. I like it.
So, folks, let us know who you have for this one. And sorry, I'm just jazzed up for tonight. This is the one thing I've been waiting for all night because it's going to be interesting one way or the other. We've got, you know, Jericho versus Moxley, or we've got Jericho versus Danielson. We've got Moxley versus Guevara. I feel very much Tony Khan's picked a side in this whole situation, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into that because I don't exactly see it the way you see it. I really don't. But that being said, folks, just so you know, if you can't read above, we are the Wrasslin for Life Network. And we do this all the damn time. We are back tomorrow with more content. Friday, we got a doubleheader. We got more stuff on the weekend. We're not stopping, folks. So just stay tuned. Click that little bell. Be a part of the show. We got matches going on already. And if you didn't know, I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube, back at it again. And I am joined, of course, by
literally the master of mayhem at this point.
Yeah.
I'm fitting to the description, working the gimmick, folks. But I guess let us know who you have for this match right now because we've got Moxley and Guevara kicking off Dynamite. To me, Moxley's the unsung hero of this whole situation. He gave up a 6-week vacation. I know.
Time out.
What?
Look at our buddy Victor looking sharp, folks. And if you look real close, I'm pretty sure I recognize that T-shirt that Mr. Victor's got on in that picture. Kind of got the boys smiling ear to ear, Mr. Vic. So,
just a little bit, just pop me a little bit. That's why your comment jumped ahead of line because I noticed that real quick. So, folks, if you want to be like our big friend, our buddy from, you know, our friend from another mother, Mr. Big Vic, there, you can go ahead and grab yourself a what T-shirt, I'm waiting for the producer, a what T-shirt. Or you can grab yourself, you know, if you want to let people know what's going on, you can let them know that you are Mr. Every Night, like my buddy right there, Mr. KJ White. Or if you're just sick of everybody's bullshit, you can just tell them, like Mr. CJ, to cut the shit. And you can get those fine, fresh threads at altwrestlingtees on Instagram, redbubble.com. The links in the video, the links in the description of the channel, this, that, and the other. And KJ knows the email if you want to reach out to him personally.
Right, go to altwrestlingtees@gmail.com. Yeah, guys, go check out Alt Wrestling Tees, not just for our tees, for the collection he has there. And Victor, that's probably the earliest plug we've ever done in a show. We set a new record at about
the man that's always telling us to go for the plug.
Right? I mean, there you go. So,
right.
Folks, Victor did kind of jump the line a little bit, but if you want to
I can tie this into Dynamite real quick. So, too, coming up, if depending on how you feel in this whole situation, whether you're Team Punk or your Team Bucks and everything, there is going to be, some shirts dropping. So you can very much, voice your opinion on this whole matter, and you can let people know which side you're on.
I like those shirts, by the way, a lot.
Oh, pop me. Good.
So I was going to say, though, folks, if you would like to skip to the head of the line in the chat, get yourself a T-shirt, make it your Avi. You get VIP access to the chat. Just saying, if you're a fan of being first.
That's how we're selling that until we hit 1,000. Then, the game changes.
Right now, I'm in picture-in-picture. Sammy Guevara is in control. We'll try and get to the chat real quick. It's been a bit of a bumpy, a rocky, a playful, I don't know, a roller coaster of a start to
right.
the show.
It's like us, and it's like the AEW locker room. It's kind of off the rails a little bit, folks. But we always make the best out of it, which hopefully Tony Khan does as well.
Right. Danielson wins or I shave my beard. Robert, if he does not win, I want proof.
I was gonna say you're a better man and a braver man than me, because this thing ain't getting up. My wife wouldn't recognize me if I didn't have this.
Dude, the last time I had no facial hair was because the fucking Toronto Maple Leafs had an epic collapse against the Boston Bruins. And I had I had a lot riding in a lot of different avenues, but I had better.
Little did they know that you'd be making homies with someone who lives in New England, backyard of the Boston Bruins.
The enemy.
Although I'm not a Bruins fan. But.
Oh, I would have forgiven you if you would. I'll tell you, they put some rough times on my team, but most teams have at this point. Sucks. Go Leafs. Ronnie, what's up? How are you, buddy? By the way, Robert, welcome back as well. Damien, I hope Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho and John Moxley versus Sammy Guevara. I hope wins. And John Moxley. I skipped wins both times. How did I pull that?
I think that's going to be the final, and then either tonight or on next Wednesday, my birthday, shout out, is when this man shows up and ends up leaving with the AEW World Championship.
I think so. That's the way I see it. I mean,
it's the play to go right now.
If he wins the belt in Long Island, people will come unhinged.
If he wins the belt in Long Island on my birthday, I will become unhinged.
Right? Like clean up aisle 4. There's a
right. My wife's, you were talking about before me acting like Pat and jumping on the desk and everything. That might be a possibility.
Baby, get in the room. It's my birthday. We got a new champ.
Right. We got a new champ, and I need a new desk. Why?
I mean,
pile driver. Sammy's going for a Gotch pile driver on the apron. But so what do you think about Moxley that he's given up his vacation? He kind of he just spiked that man that he's given up his vacation. He's kind of stepped up to be this guy that's going to now kind of be a leadership role in the company now that all this chaos is ensued.
That was ugly looking.
Yup.
Happy hump day, everyone. Gary, welcome back. Thank you for that. Who wins? Toni Storm, Athena, Dr. Britt Baker, Serena, Deeb.
Athena and Toni.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's Athena should be the world champ.
And my new favorite wrestler, by the way, Brett Baker. That was me letting everyone know we were delayed.
Thanks to me. Sorry.
I'll
eat that L.
Hey, what's up, Edward? How you doing, buddy?
Yes, what up, Kevin? I think Kevin's new. What up, Ring of Return? Vic, obviously. John, Christ. What? Oh, Canadian Spaceman. How you doing?
Canadian Spaceman, what's up? We
I hear you, Beardo.
Kevin, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the people that said yes. Somebody, I don't want to point fingers. It's not very polite, but somebody couldn't hear me and blame me. And
what? I mean, I am the man that has a gimmick. That
this explains it all, right?
Right. So just fitting. I just finally lost it, folks.
For 5 minutes before stream goes live.
Right. Right as we went live, I just went deaf.
I can't hear
what?
you. Yeah, thanks, bud. Yeah,
gotta live the gimmick, folks.
I want to see Sammy win. JV, we can't be friends.
It'd be out of left field and keep going past left field all the way into fucking no man's zone. Because that's where Sammy when it goes.
Yeah. This is where you say you bet your beard. I wouldn't bet my beard on any fucking match that Tony Khan books.
No.
It doesn't matter who it is. Anything could happen. Which I see people that go, that's why we love it. No, but it's chaos.
I wouldn't bet my beard if AEW goes live. If it goes on the air.
Shit. Oh, Sammy Guevara with a wedgie. We'll fix that. Oh, no.
Springboard cutter. Oh.
This match isn't great.
Man.
How are you guys feeling about the opening match? The fans seem pretty quiet about it.
I think it's because of Sammy, honestly. Sammy's the one that feels out of place. Everyone else is a former world champion or could be a world champion. Sammy, TNT title at best.
Yeah, like you really see Sammy Guevara walking out of Long Island with the belt? No, that'd be bad.
That's the angle that you're going to go with after all of this heat and all of this chaos is you're going to double it down and go with your biggest legit heel outside of MJF.
Well, I mean, if one would have your theory about Tony Khan, then possibly you could, perceive you end up with Jericho Guevara final.
The fact that Sammy's made it this far fits into my whole theory that this man very much, he's a mark for the business. He's a mark for himself. He's a mark for the boys that he's hired. We've talked about that with how much he's, hugging and loving and snuggling and cuddling up on everybody. 2 count. But yeah, that man, he very much, this is his time to feel like the cool kid. This is his time to, I'm one of the boys. No, you're not, Tony. You need to act like an owner, just like your buddies should have. The Bucks and Kenny should have acted like EVPs instead of one of the boys.
Right. No, I mean, that's what we'll dive into a little more. But yeah, I mean, you gotta get away from what got you here, right? Like if you painted yourself into this corner,
right.
The only hope again out of it is, okay, so you stepped on some paint to get out. Now that you're out, you got to figure out how not to do it again. And you got to grow and you got to improve and you got to figure your shit out. And it starts with having solid people around you. Not guys that, snicker every time they, answer a question. Like
not guys that the second they get suspended, you're getting rumors about them, sniffing around WWE and everything like that.
Moxley just shocked Sammy, by the way.
Yes. And now we've got Anna Jay and Tay, whatever her name is, coming out.
Hello.
I can't remember what they changed it to.
See, this is where, I don't want to see this shit right now. Stay in the back. The boys are having a fight. Let them have it.
And that's not,
it's just because it's every show.
Okay, Moxley just had to sell a kick to the butt, like the worst groin kick ever. Like, Tay just hit him in small package.
Oh,
thank Jesus.
She just kicked him right in the chode.
No, that was right in the cheek. That's literally like if you've ever, play fought with someone and you're kicking them in the ass or something. Yeah.
No, I felt like it was a little more centered, but not very deep.
It was supposed to look center. She botched that to high holy hell.
Terrible.
Sammy misses the swanton.
Oh yeah, I just want to leave this comment up all night. Look, Victor looking sharp as hell.
Oh yeah, pop me all night.
We're glad you got your T-shirt, sir, and thank you, truly, truly, thank you for doing that. It's truly appreciated. It's kind of crazy, but no, that's awesome. We appreciate you guys giving us your time, let alone supporting us.
It's insane to me to see somebody wearing a T-shirt of some stupid crap I decided to rip off from Stone Cold Steve Austin and everything.
It's yours now, baby.
Right, but still, whether you've been here for 30 seconds, 5 months, however long you've been here, the fact that anyone's tuning in just absolutely. Well, and even then, this is still therapy to me at the end of the day.
Right. General, welcome back. How are you? Right now, the boys are kind of going at it like this.
Oh, Paradise Chef!
Is it a good one?
It's one of them suplexy ones, and so
he's
I've got a winner.
That.
It's Mox.
He's got to stop doing it. It's shit. You're winning with a butterfly suplex.
Is that the biggest problem in AEW right now? And back to what we were talking about, though.
Pick your bottles, KJ.
Right, exactly. Pick your poison. Pick the battles that you're going after. But also, too, though, what I was going to bring up when we were talking about AEW situation right now is WWE, that luster's starting to wear off. When we watched Raw and we watched NXT the last two nights, they haven't been blowaway shows. It hasn't been. Yeah. Those are beatable shows if you actually figure your stuff out, Tony.
Well, that's a good point, actually, Nick. And again, not every week's going to be a banner week. We get it, especially when you have gaps between your bigger shows. You have some of the shows that are kind of throwaway shows. You don't want to move the story too far ahead, too fast. You're waiting on other things to play out. So, yeah, you get a fluff show. I don't hate it. It wasn't brutal. I wasn't banging my head off the mic, by the third hour. But to your point, on those weeks, that's your moment. You got Wednesday night. Steal the show.
Especially now, you need to deliver something. You have to go. You go out with a roar instead of with a whimper.
Right. It's so funny to see like 7-time world champion, 6-time world champion, 3-time world champion, like acknowledging, they were champions elsewhere. Like,
well, that's one thing that you kind of have happen with AEW is you can't ignore that, especially when your top tag team, FTR, is coming out with 3 other companies' tag belts, but not your own.
Yeah, it's still funny to me. I'm back in commercials, so.
Yeah, I'm getting a Star Wars ad.
Stay firm.
Close.
Right? Both just kind of a fantasy.
Both S's, both 2 words.
Oh, that's good. John Moxley for the win. Mox for the win. Mox for the win. Yo, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? It means Mox for the win.
It means Mox who wins. It means make fun of Tony Khan. It means
fun of Tony Khan.
Beat up John Cena.
What else we got here? It's time for the AEW young guys to step up and get their push. Yes and no. Because like last week, 2 young guys got a push, and it was a detriment to the channel. It was a detriment to the show.
Right. Well, I would say it doesn't even exactly have to be young guys. You have to use the rest of the talent that you actually have. Tony's got a ton of talent, and that's a big part of why you said that this company will never truly, I feel, fade. It'll be one of those TNA just kind of lives on in infamy for however long Tony wants to keep writing checks, because they do have a incredibly deep roster. It's just how long do you let that go before your top guy, like you start to eat yourself from the top down,
right?
Like with Malachi Black leaving.
Look, I equate it to like, remember when the WWE went through that lull in the 90s, right? Like pre-Attitude Era, and they kind of were going through a change. They were losing guys, and they literally, they went through some of their lowest rating periods, right? And you get, Britt in there and Sean, but they weren't exactly drawing the way some of the others of the past had. And all of a sudden it was just like, be patient because these guys are coming. And when they all kind of hit their stride together, it became something kind of magical. I think that's what Tony's got to find is like, it's not, you went through some rough times. Yes, it feels like Triple H took over. It feels like when Triple H stepped into the WWE, it made AEW super insecure. Mostly because Tony's super insecure. And I'm pretty sure he shit a cat when he heard the news. And since then, we've seen this, I don't know what you would call it, chaos, this falling apart of the company, at least on the paper. Like, I mean, right now we got, mixed stories and mixed reviews. We don't really know what happened. We don't all know who's involved. People are returning from suspension after 1 week. So that's interesting.
Right. Well, it goes back to what I said from the longest time is that nothing within AEW's changed. It's the landscape around AEW's changed. And now it's really, how does Toni react to the big bad bully on the block waking up? And now we've got, or at least I've got, we're back from action, and we've got my boy, the man who will be leaving Long Island as the AEW World Champion, Mr. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Return of the Max, folks.
Return of the Max. I dig it. Made me laugh earlier today.
Oh, it's what he's doing right now. He's the best guy, and it's still funny to me how this is the one that we always worried, was it a shoot, was it a work? And it's clearly a work at this point.
Yes.
It's been the truest statements out of all of it.
No, it's been a wicked work. It really has. And I listen, I know I'm the skeptic of the channel, but I really did hold on to this being a work. I still, even if it wasn't a work at the beginning, you have to find a way. Like, that's your money right there, Nick. If Tony Khan can find a way, whether this was a work from the beginning or started as a shoot, went to a shit show, if he can mold it into a work where everyone's like, wait a minute, was this planned to happen the whole time? But he's got to pull that shit together. He's got to get Punk on the right page. He's got to get Kenny on the right page. Man, you give it a while, and eventually it could have a payoff. It could matter if people could get their shit together.
Yeah. A little bit of a reach. I think it's a little, you play too close to the fire there. But I do like everybody here with Dale, like MJF time. Right. Larry said, time to turn up the TV now. Boss, yep, sorry, but TV goes up. Yep, when Max is on TV, the TV goes up.
Right. Wow. So he's pure heel again. He's back. He comes stomping out.
Oh, but it's so great how, and we saw it, how he was able to be a babyface and have people eating out of the palm of his hand and then just turn it on the drop of a dime.
Right. Ringing return. Welcome back. Another return. Good to see you. Isn't the roster 143 deep? It's something like that. It's a small army.
Oh, yeah. And that depends on how many people you count from Dark that have made an appearance here or there, so on and so forth. You could go into probably almost the, multiple hundreds.
Mm-hmm. So that's where, I mean, like, Tony's got some opportunity. And like I was saying, when you had that changeover, maybe losing some of these guys that you thought were your bread and butter, maybe they move on and other guys get and girls get airtime and get TV time. And all of a sudden we're like, hey, this is a lot better. These guys are a lot more entertaining to watch. We're getting better matches. It happens. And I think that's what you got to watch. The Hobbs, the Starks, you have guys in there that aren't getting the opportunity. Let's give them some.
Oh, absolutely. And when you get, I guess that top layer, quote unquote, cut off, and you no longer have access to that, when you have this type of roster, like even the man who's in the ring right now, MJF said,
John Moxley's going to win this tournament. I'm making that clear right now.
Oh, Moxley's going to win, and then MJF's going to beat him, because this 100%. Is right now MJF going hard in the paint at John Moxley.
Yo, he just called him a drunk.
Like I said, just going hard in the paint right now on John Moxley. So I'm telling you, you're going to get John Moxley winning the tournament, and then MJF is going to cash in on him, and that's going to be your feud going forward, is MJF and John Moxley.
I agree. Man, he is cutting I'm shocked at, like, maybe not shocked, but that's like, John's like, all right, go at it, man. Go do your thing. Like, that's
John would be the type of guy that's fine with that. That's the thing.
Is, that's a nerve,
based
right?
Off of his track record of doing stuff in GCW and everything. I think he's very much one of those of just go, let it fly, and we'll go.
But he's digging in. Like, this is.
Oh, when doesn't he though? He's the best guy on the mic in the business, next to Heyman.
He says, my AEW, it's my title, and he gets cheers. Yes.
He's in that Roman level of you hate to love him.
He is going to get, like, dude, Tony Khan, you want to steal headlines, you want more ratings, you want to have people talk about your brand, let this man take the belt home from Long Island.
Absolutely.
Just make it happen. I don't give a fuck. Wow, you got to finagle it. Don't make it too stupid. but let them walk away with it. You want something that's buzzworthy. Your homegrown technically talent in MJF going over. I mean, do it, and I think that place will come unglued.
Oh, absolutely. And I love the way that MJF talks right into the camera, because that's what he's doing right now. I'm talking right to you, John, and I'm a demon you can't get rid of.
Oh, allow me to introduce.
And Bivens.
He has him. He has him on retainer.
Well, and
so Bivens was going around collecting these guys for MJF.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of people, like, I didn't make the connection. I didn't know about it. I didn't think about it. But afterwards, you sell all this stuff of like the older pictures of them together at this indie show, at that show.
Yeah.
Of these guys paired up. And you're like, this makes perfect sense now. You can't tell me that it, like, so you put that against the BCC and you run that all through the fall.
Yeah.
Shut up and take my money.
This is an interesting, eclectic group.
And W. Morrissey's still there. So I guess W. Morrissey must be fully all elite.
At least temporarily.
Right. I know it's not Sunday, but you're about to hear some gospel. I love it.
Bivens! It's Bivens!
He looks a little weird just with the white tee. You need a suit, my brother.
Right.
At least a suit jacket. Well, we've got Ethan Page, W. Morrissey, and the Ass Boys, and Lee Moriarty right now standing behind.
Did Lee Moriarty dye his hair green?
Yes. He looks a little bit like DK Metcalf for any Seahawks or NFL fans. But yeah, all right behind Bivens right now. So I guess this is the team behind MJF.
So all this time we've been watching Bivens just walk around hounding out business cards. It was on behalf of MJF. So
it's MJF support system.
I want all the people that were in the chat over the last little while who were like, "Don't be crazy. It's a shoot. He was pissed."
Well, how many people? I think we were one of the first two to really be like, "Nope, this is work," right from the jump, and just ride that out of, "Nope, this is work. This is work. This is work."
Yeah, no, I mean, it just again.
I'm not a manager, and I damn sure ain't no assistant.
Right.
I'm a friend, just a friend. That's what he's saying right now. Some of you wish you had a friend like me. Absolutely. Honestly, I wish I had a friend like Bivens.
Right. But I mean,
get me some 7-foot giant to come kick people's ass for me. Absolutely.
Now, this is what makes you think that MJF wins the title, because if he's guarded by that wall, that's come get it. And look, he's got his own little bloodline.
Yeah, but I don't like that the Ass Boys have glitter on.
Dude, they're the Ass Boys. What do you fucking expect?
Still. It was hard enough to get with me, for me to get on board with the Acclaimed and all of that. But this is, I'm telling you, it's going to end up, and I think you said it while I was thinking it is, Moxley's going to win this tournament. It's going to be Moxley, Danielson final. Sorry, Danielson's going to eat another L, but you're going to have a classic between Danielson and Moxley. And then MJF, unless he announces tonight, and it's going to be a triple threat on next Wednesday.
Right.
Then he cashes in on Wednesday and leaves Long Island with the title.
I think that's the way it goes. I think that's the most bang for your buck. I really do. Hello, Heather. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for being here.
I love this from Bivens, as he's going right now, going from one person to the next of telling them why he loves them and hugging them.
Yeah, this is interesting. Morrissey looks like he just woke up. 6 minutes.
Yeah, maybe.
What is happening?
I don't know, but W.
This is
Morrison to me
officially
is
going
still
too long.
just 2022 test.
What's that?
I said, to me, W. Morrissey is 2022's test.
Yeah, but taller.
Yeah.
I guess. But dude, I mean, this is officially. Am I the only one out there, fans? Let me know if I'm crazy. This segment started off with fire. MJF dug in, him explaining why Bibbins was going around handing out the business cards. Great. This is starting to get long. And does he have
bit?
Is that like an octopus tattooed in his armpit, or is that a set of legs? What has he got in his armpit there?
Well, they're like the discount version of Coke and Diet Coke for those that have been along here.
Dude,
they're like great value
no-name brand
cola and Diet Cola.
The cola and Diet Cola, son of a bitch. Anyone out there right now, this is kind of an inside joke. We'll be back.
Right. For anyone out there who doesn't know what I'm talking about, ask a friend in the chat. Someone will answer you. Someone will explain it to you.
Cola and Diet.
We're this much of a family at this point that we've got inside jokes.
There you go.
The Firm. That's their name, is The Firm.
I like it.
You can either run with us or run.
Is it too many?
It's not too many. It's a little bit like, do you remember the, I think it was, what was it? The Union that was in WWE, where it was like Test, Shamrock, Mick Foley. It's got that vibes.
That was right around when the faction thing started going insane.
WWE's got more factions than they do, EVPs at this point.
Right. All right. So that went a little long, and I really feel like Bibbin should have had a little part, and then MJF closed it out. Maybe I'm just being picky because I like MJF. But
do it in reverse. Have MJF or have Bibbins come out first, and then have MJF come out.
Yeah, have Bibbins come out, explain to everybody who the dudes are without hugging them, so it didn't take an extra 7 minutes. But then you say, I got these men together for my friend, and here we go.
Oh yeah, well, and then you ended on the high note versus started on the high note.
Yeah.
And so now we've got Jungle Boy, who issued an open challenge earlier.
Right.
It's been answered by Jay Lethal. Sorry.
Wait, who?
Jay Lethal.
That was random as shit. Okay.
Well, what do you really do with both of them at this point? Jungle Boy's the feud with Christian's halfway done, if not done. You had Kanosaurus turn again.
Yeah, but I think what's going to happen is...
Go ahead.
Well, he's going to chase down. He's going to get a win over Luchasaurus 100%, and then he's going to get his match against Christian.
Right. Well, but do you get... But we already had that, and how many times do you keep going with the Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal, Sanjay, Satnam faction?
I didn't necessarily connect those dots. There's other people they can wrestle. I don't think so.
Well, no, but that's the bit. Those are the two things that have been going.
Yeah, but I still think, they're not done with Jungle Boy yet.
Right. I'm not saying Jungle Boy is going to be involved with Joe or anything, but I'm saying how Jay Lethal and Joe on Jungle Boy are wrestling. What?
Yeah, what? All right, man. What happens if Tony Khan? Yeah, well, I won't like it at all, buddy. Sammy for the title?
No.
4 to 10. That's a little early.
Was that just for that match? I mean, are we going by match rating?
Match by match.
If they're doing that, I'm here for it.
Right. Never Larry finally here. Never Larry finally here. I like that.
I think he corrects himself shortly thereafter.
No, I like it better than this. Never fear Larry finally here. Yeah, either way, bud. I really like
Run in fear, Satnam is here.
I just stopped it. I really like you. I really like both, but feels like Mox for the win. Okay. I was way off.
I was going to say, here I was thinking he was talking about us.
Right? I thought he'd be
I
like,
really like you both.
I lost a lot of respect for the Bucks and Omega general. I would love to know why. What's got you feeling that way? Because I never had much for either.
I was going to say, you have to have respect to lose respect. So I think I'm in that boat, but I would absolutely love to feel or to hear those who were big fans, and I'm a big Omega fan, but a big Bucks fan or anything like that, how they feel coming out of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're loyal fans, and if you pay attention online, there's a lot of support for the Bucks and Omega, and CM Punk's the Antichrist, and he's always upset, and he hates everybody, and he's old and feeble, and he sucks, and he should never come back, and the company's better off without him, and I don't want him, and he sucks, and he hit Matt with a punch.
He was wrong about everything, and no one knows. And no, it's at the end of the day, should Punk have done what he did the way he did it? No, because it's very clear to me that was pre-calculated. He was just waiting for an opportunity to do it.
He knew.
But what he said wasn't wrong.
Mm-hmm. So what if they gave him an 8-month suspension, but he's injured?
Yeah, it could be one or the other. I mean, well, we've already seen how, I guess, supposedly Pat Buck, Cutler, Nakazawa, all of their suspensions have already been lifted.
Yeah, they got 1 week suspension. So whatever that deemed was just maybe they were just punished for not breaking it up.
Everybody who happened to be very much on one side.
It feels like 6-on-1, doesn't it?
Oh, very much. Absolutely, it does. Because trust me, if you look at the Bucks and Omega, they're the type of dudes that show up 6-on-1 to a fight instead of 1-on-1, 3-on-1.
Yeah. Nick, could you not see CM Punk looking at that situation like he sees them all barge in and just think, oh, I'm going to at least get one of them? And
oh, absolutely. That's why I feel that whole situation. And I know there's the whole situation with Ace Steel and with Punk and everything. I feel honestly, if 6 people burst into my locker room after I'm already heated, and granted, I did say it to my face, but you're an EVP of the company, you're not an adult enough. You could come and talk to me one-on-one or talk to Toni, who talks to me, or anything like that. But you barge in 6-on-1, absolutely. All right. Before anyone says anything, I'm going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first and foremost, some of the excuses like you just touched on that we've heard is like, well, just because they went over there and they blah, 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 bullshit. Think about it like this. If you got out of your car and beat the living shit out of somebody or attacked somebody and the cops show up and you go, well, he told me if you don't like me, buddy, come say it to my face. Well, that's not a good grounds for a defense. Well, he told me to beat him up, so I did. And generally, the cops don't go, oh, he said, come here and do it. Okay, you can go. So one, but beyond that, man, like, yeah, it doesn't. I said last week or on Rumble that it doesn't matter who threw the first punch. It doesn't matter who did what. Because 6 people stormed in your room.
Right.
And I think instinctually, if they're on a heater, which by all reports, they were on a heater. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a, I'm gonna punch the closest people to me and hope for the best as the rest come in.
I'm landing first. I know that. And then I'm going to just keep my back to the door. So that way I can get a way out if I need to.
Cover up,
and especially I think you've hit on it too of like you had agents in the company, Pat Buck. You had head of talent relations, I believe. Christopher Daniels there. You had what's her name? Maga there, who was the like head lawyer or head of like HR or something.
No, she's the number 2 in the company.
Right. You had her there as well. You had Nakazawa, Kenny's assistant. You had Cutler, the Bucks' lifelong friends. That very much seemed like a 6-on-1 situation to where you're showing up to where it's CM Punk there, who's already been heated.
Now,
and it's just him, Ace Steel's wife, allegedly, and Larry there. And Kenny's trying to make himself the hero of, I was there just trying to save Larry. I was trying to make sure that the dog was okay and all
Now,
of that.
there are some reports, Nick, that Kenny was a bit of a pacifist. Like he wasn't as
He was the most adult in the situation. I'll give you that.
That's some of the report I heard. So I mean, all right, maybe Kenny's got some cooler heads prevail when it comes to Kenny. But I don't know, man. Like it's really hard to imagine. Now, could conceivably, are you pissed off and you're like, all right, we're gonna go down there and tell them how it is. We're EVPs. Wait, someone grab MAGA. We need the lawyers.
Well, that's another problem is you had all these people that are in these positions of power in this company that they're the ones that show up and handle this. This isn't, Johnny Hungy or anybody from the Dark Order or anything showing up. This isn't even Hangman Page showing up of, I'm going to kick your ass. And I know Hangman was out of the building and everything like that, but this wasn't just a one-night thing. This has been building up.
Yeah.
But you didn't have anybody like that handle this situation. You had EVPs, executives, people in positions of power in this company that are that much of a mark for themselves that they can't realize, shit, I'm ahead of I'm a position of power in this company. I should actually handle this accordingly.
Well, it does start at the top, whether you like it or not, and people can make all the excuses they want in the world. But it does start at the top. And I mean, when you don't act at all, do something. Make a mistake, but do something. Like you can't just sit idle. You can't just ignore what's happening. And that's
speaking of starting at the top and sitting there idly doing nothing, then you've got Mr. Tony Khan himself just.
Yeah, no, like that's it.
Yeah, that man was a deer in the headlights. You are not the owner of that company.
Right. Well, he is, but that's the hard part.
On paper only.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I will leave you for a moment.
No, you're good. I can keep going on this whole thing. Absolutely. Because to me, it's CM Punk doesn't do something like that unless he knows that there's not going to be any sort of repercussion for those actions. And I guess you can let me know in the chat right now if you're more Team Punk, more Team Bucks. But to me, like I said, I understand what CM Punk, the way he handled the situation was wrong. But that situation should have never gotten to that point. You shouldn't have acted out. You should have guys that are quote unquote the top guys in your company that are executives. Also, like I've said before, they saw what Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan did in WCW and just tried to do it one better of we're going to make ourselves EVPs of the company. So you should have never gotten to that situation. And honestly, what CM Punk said was right, because those are the people that are leaking those stories from that company. It's the Young Bucks. It's Nick and Matt Jackson. It's Kenny. It's whether it's not them, it's Nakazawa. It's Cutler. It's obviously Chris Jericho. That's the man who's getting all the praise for how he's handled himself in this situation. Chris Jericho absolutely has Meltzer and Alvarez and all of them just right by the ear. Here, let me tell you this. And folks, right now, I just got a 2 count from Jungle Boy on Jay Lethal. Went on a little bit of a tangent there, but we still got a hell of a match going on right now between Jungle Boy and Jay Lethal. Let me know what you're taking in this match. We'll try and catch up with some of these comments. Boss Monster saying, listen. To what? Me? Good job. Keep listening to me. Keep listening to us. I'm sure it will get worked out. This happened in the past in other companies. Like WCW. That's what this feels like exactly. It's just old school. This feels like the end days of WCW. All that's missing is Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo. And, we've got the writing on the wall. Actually, and Jeff Jarrett. That's the trifecta there. That's the, 3 horsemen of, doom there. If those 3 show up in AEW, the writing's on the wall. And to me, this is the make or break point for Tony. This is the nut up or shut up point. This is you step up and show I can do this with you or without you. The choice is yours, or you go full board into these are who I've hitched my wagon to, and I guess you're going to have to write it out from there. Lethal with a dive through the middle rope on a Jungle Boy on the outside. And Kenny is in Japan promoting the Fight Forever game. Yes, that's part of what I'm saying of that. Oh, and Lethal with a big elbow off the top rope. 1, 2 count. But I think that's part of the issue is that Kenny's already seems like he's kind of working around the suspension. I get that this was already a scheduled appearance. I get that Kenny's already got ties to Japan and everything from New Japan. But this very much, when you have that, plus you have Cutler, Buck, Christopher Daniels, all of them also coming back as well, to me feels very much like Tony's picked a side. He had Hangman in the tournament for the championship after all of this kicked off. And Jungle Boy knocks Sanjay off the ring apron. Lethal will roll up for a 2 count. But to me, Tony's made his bed, and now I feel like he's just lying in it. Like I said, he's had Hangman in this tournament. He's okay still with Kenny, full-fledged doing this promotion. He's got all the agents and everybody backstage that was involved in this situation already off of suspension. And Jungle Boy gets the win as Lethal taps out. So Jungle Boy picking up the win on Jay Lethal. And again, when we're talking about talent that AEW could be using better, I could see them honestly pushing Jungle Boy. I could see them pushing Jay Lethal. This is now that opportunity for guys like this to get a spotlight match and everything. Edward, I said it before, I'll say it again. No active talent should have an executive position of power, period. Yes, I think that to me is a big indictment of what's shown that Tony's a mark for this business and a mark where everything that's going on. And right now I'm getting a video package of Action Bronson and Hook training together. So apparently are we going to get a tag team of Action Bronson and Hook? I do find it interesting, the videos I've seen floating around that show Bronson when he was at one of, I think it was an ECW pay-per-view, right in the crowd, and the camera caught him. And then he shows up at Dynamite and everything. Oh, so it looks like we are going to get a tag team match between Action Bronson and Hook and 2.0, aka Coke and Diet Coke. So that'll be interesting. It's weird how they've pushed Hook. He's gotten really hot, but they want to go too full board with them. They want to kind of still play it. I'm cool with it, but what in the thank you, Ethan Page, because so we had real quick there, we had the meme guy that's been going around of, if wrestling is real, then explain this. And this guy that flipped the pizza dough through his legs and everything while he's going through all of his moves and everything. Ethan Page just kicked his head off and said, I'm doing one thing people don't do around here and take this job seriously, which kudos to you. No truer words have been said, I feel, in AEW. And then now we've got Ethan Page and Danhausen involved in a situation backstage. So you win some, you lose some with that whole situation, I feel like. And folks, I am back in commercial break. So let me try and roll through some of these comments real quick. Boss ain't true word. Oh, Matt, yep. Got that one. Tony needs guidance from those who have been around longer. Yes. Like a Regal, like a JR who hasn't been on commentary. Maybe he's sliding into a talent type position backstage or a backstage role. Wait and see. Mohan, no doubt. Why? Never follow the WWE model of going into business for yourself. Well, what do you mean by that, with that being the WWE model? I don't know of even too many guys in WWE that have even been able to think that they could go into business for themselves and not, be handed a pink slip on the way, back from ring. So I think it's that Tony's created this environment of it being the Wild Wild West of you can do what you want. You can get away with whatever you feel like. So that's why you have this situation unfold, is because no one feels like they're really going to get in trouble with this. what's really the punishments that we've had come down. We had Punk and the Elite stripped. We had most of the guys involved backstage got about a week suspension. Supposedly the Bucks and Omega are suspended, but Omega's still over in Japan promoting the game. And Punk was hurt, and Ace still, we barely even knew was around. So we haven't heard any decision even on that. So Tony still really hasn't put his foot down on this situation. Wardlow might save Jungle Boy after he loses. That did not happen. Champions versus champions match tonight. Swerve and Glory versus Lucha Bros for the AEW World Tag Team titles. If that's going to happen, I'm absolutely pumped for that. I think that that's going to be a hell of a match, and I'm excited that we've now got, Death Triangle as the trios champion. We've got Pac as a double champion. But I think if there's going to be a team that should take the tag belts off Swerve and Glory, it should have been the Acclaimed. Honestly, KJ kind of sold me on it being the Acclaimed winning those belts. FTR will not be on AEW August 31st. One of their defending one of their championships in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, that's the issue of when you have your top tag team, holding X, Y, and Z other promotions championships, that they're going to get overbooked, cross-booked, all of that. They should be AEW champions, to be honest, and you don't worry about the cross-promotion. And we've got Darby right now going up for, I guess, a big jump on a tricycle off of a ramp that he definitely did not make. He was part of Nitro Circus, I guess. And yes, Cornelius, hello, welcome to the channel. But yes, Lethal tapped out. And Cornelius, since I think your new name here kicking around, and I will let everybody know as I'm coming back from commercial break with Matt Hardy clapping up Darby. But we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We are here covering anything and everything when it comes to professional wrestling. Whether it's AEW, WWE, NWA, GCW, XPW, we are here covering anything and everything. We are the fastest growing channel when it comes to professional wrestling. Nobody covers professional wrestling like we do. And we've got a bunch more in the tank coming out. Got a bunch of new original content, new ideas kicking around. So absolutely be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, just join the fam. Give us 30 seconds of your time, and trust me, I'll convince you to join us. But so it looks like we're going to get a Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy feud setting up. And I've got Hobbs coming out to the ring right now. Is anyone surprised of the match that went on, like how the match went down between him and Ricky Starks? I know we've talked about it on the channel, but it feels like both guys were meant to get a push and they couldn't figure out how to do it right. Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin Friday on Rampage. And folks, we will be here covering that. That'll be doubleheader this week instead of, thanks to Lovely Impact, most of the time it ends up being triple header. But we will be here doubleheader Friday, Feel Good Friday, covering that with SmackDown. So absolutely tune in, join the fam, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I hope you enjoy. Why KJ? So we've got Hobbs and local enhancement talent right now, looks like. Who wins? Jacob Fatu versus Willie Mack. MLW Super Series, September 18th. Jacob Fatu wins. And we've already got a big spine buster, and 1, 2, 3 match is already over. So in the time it took me to read your comment, Damien, the match is over. But yeah, to me, absolutely, Jacob Fatu wins that match easily. He's a guy much like Alex Hammerstone, much like, honestly, there's a good chunk of MLW I'd like to see go to a promotion like AEW or WWE. I think, honestly, WWE should just buy them out, to be fair. And now Hobbs is on the microphone. Oh, and the crowd chanting, "We want Ricky." They dropped the ball and should have put the strap on the Acclaimed. Yes, they should have. But then again, the book should have done the FTR return match and dropped. Yup, you and KJ would absolutely agree 100% on that, no doubt, and I'm right there with you. Yes, that's ever since being the elite's been a thing. They've pretty much been out there to try and bury FTR. So absolutely, they were not going to do any sort of a job to FTR at any point in time, even though they are the top guys, not only in AEW, in tag team professional wrestling. Hobbs right now cutting a promo on Starks. Are you guys still interested in this feud? I think it. Oh, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. So we've got Ricky Starks walking right now down the steps. This match could still play out. The first match ended awkwardly. The first match ended, on a flat note. This needs to still get another match or two out of it. I think Starks is absolutely somebody that you could see ended up competing for the world title. And honestly, Hobbs, if they keep going with them right, could be there too. And Starks is throwing hands on Hobbs. So they're booking Hobbs the way they should have been booking Wardlow. I still would like that, honestly, as a feud, is Wardlow and Hobbs, of just two big beefy boys slapping meat. Absolutely, 100%. Those guys it's Clash of the Titans with them.
Yeah, no, Wardlow and Hobbs.
Yeah. But so what do you feel about the whole Starks-Hobbs feud? Because I know you were very critical of the way the match ended at All Out. And now I guess we're still getting a continuation of that feud, that this is going to be, the going on storyline going on right now.
Sorry, you were saying?
I was saying.
All right. Listen, I like this feud because if they do it right, it's two up-and-coming superstars. These are the guys that we're talking about. These are the guys that we expect to be at the top of the chart. These are the guys that we're looking for, if you are moving away from certain people, well, then you need guys like Hobbs and Starks to step up. You need them to be something. You need them to matter. Right now, I got Death Triangle in the back. I'm glad they got the Trios belt. I think they should have been in contention to begin with instead of the Bucks, but that's a long story. Nonetheless, I think there was a comment real quick, but I don't mind this booking. I didn't like the squash match at the pay-per-view. I really didn't. But we'll see what happens next time. And here comes Death Triangle. This is the one. Ringer, I couldn't agree more. I know Nick mentioned you and KJ would agree. No, it's true. And I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Let's be honest about things. And that's 100% what happened. I mean, literally, they had the moment where these guys are standing on the stage cutting a promo and everyone's chanting for FTR. And that hurt their ego. Next thing you know, they give the belts up to Swerve and Lee and they run off to the trios division. Kenny comes back with a turtleneck on because he's not 100% yet. So, I mean, for me, that's how this played out. And I mean, it is a part of this narrative. It is a part of the issue. It's part of why AEW is having problems, because of the infighting and the pettiness and the childishness. Let me ask everyone out there right now. There's quite a few people kicking around watching us tonight. If you really thought about it, who out there, when you think of, those wrestlers are pretty immature, who would it be in AEW? I mean, Danhausen's got a bit of an immature gimmick, but it's, our comic relief. But when you think of immaturity, kind of young, slapsticky, I think the Bucks take the cake. They jump to the forefront of my mind. I don't know who else feels that way. Swerve and Our Glory are on the way out to the ring as well. And we're getting a world title match. There we go. Listen, not right now. Zachary, welcome back. What else do we got, folks? Trying to catch up. I hope everyone out there is doing wonderfully. We're kicking off the second hour of the stream, second hour of the show. We're getting a tag title match. Let us know in the box who you got for the win. And, thank you for joining us as always. As this channel continues to grow, do keep in mind, I'll cut this little promo quickly before the match starts. And while my buddy Nick's not here, but listen, next Wednesday, a week from today, a very, very special night on the stream. A guy that's become a brother to me. He's family. And we're just two knuckleheads that just happen to bump into each other on the internet. And we always joke about the story of my man Nick, but next week is his birthday. And, the guy has been nothing but amazing. And it's huge love for my boy. So in honor of all that gushy loveness, we are going to celebrate his birthday here on the stream, but we are also doing it for charity. Right now, the link is up. If you go to the Instagram, go to our socials down below. There'll be more posts, and I'll actually be dropping the link in the description. If I had it right now, I'd put it in the chat, but maybe Nick will pass that on when he gets here. But mental health is something that's super important to every member of the family on this channel. And we've all been through our battles and our ups and our downs. And none greater than the story that Nick shared. And if you haven't gone to Nick's Instagram and checked out his post, do so and give it some love, because he was really open about what he went through. And it's remarkable. And it's nothing but a pleasure to be associated with that guy. So, folks, go check out Nick's social. Go check out the Wrasslin for Life Network social, and give some love. We're looking to raise money for mental health. And it's going to be a really good night here on the stream. We appreciate all the love, but yes, tell everybody everybody you can think of, tell him to show up. It's his birthday. He's not even listening right now, so don't worry about it. But it's his birthday, so tell everyone strangers, anybody, just say, hey, listen, pop on this link for a second and give a thumbs up. Let's blow the whole channel up for my boy Nick. And by the way, the whole charity and donation thing was all his idea on his birthday, being selfless. So with that all being said, I said I'd get that out before the end of the match, but truly, guys, Keith Lee and Swerve up against Penta and Phoenix. And we got Lee and Phoenix in the ring right now. And yeah, we got some Bearcat going on. He got mauled. There we go. What? Ah, shit, he was listening. What? There we go. Ah, there's the link, folks. Go check out the link. Show a little love. Show a little support. A little more what? If nothing else, what? I mean, I almost like Victor feels like he's really wanting it up. Oh. Right on, Chris. Happy birthday. Made me blush. This match only works if Swerve does some heel shit with Lee. No. Yeah, actually, I see where you're going with that. When I first read that, Boss was thinking differently. But yeah, I kind of agree with you on this. I like them playing up being heels. I like them playing up that side of that side of the game. I'd rather see them be heels. There's something about it, the way they played off each other at the press conference. If they could do that all the time, where Keith Lee comes off almost arrogant because of his cadence and the way he speaks and his tone. It's got an uppity, I know more than you, I'm better than you feel to it. If he played off that, it would be real strong. And then the attitude and the cockiness and the brashness of Swerve plays off it completely perfect. And I think they're a good fit. I think in the ring, they're both very talented. I'm a big fan of both these guys. So you have an opportunity here. Now, the problem is the Acclaimed are hot as hell right now. So I think you can almost stretch this out. Like, you give the Acclaimed the title match soon, and maybe they go under again, and this time they get cheated. And then that leads to maybe Full Gear, and they finally get the win. Unless they just give them the belt in Long Island. I mean, we could spoil Nick on his birthday and see a whole bunch of title changes. What do you think? What do you think? KJ, could you screen through my past comments? Think you'll like them. Larry, let me see. Willie, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Starks is here. I know I got that one. Stay tuned on that. We might have something for you on that, Edward. But I did listen and read the top 10. I haven't gone much deeper than the top 10 today. There's a few things in there that rub me the wrong way, and we are going to talk about it, and I know Nick and I are going to talk about it as well. So we're going to hold off on that just a little bit because we might have a plan up our sleeves when it comes to the PWI top 500. Very interesting top 10. Number 1, slam dunk. I think it's you can't refute number 1. Number 2, I think, is a lock. And then we can kind of debate some stuff from 3 down. I don't think I'm wrong. I don't know if anybody feels like Okada's out of place, but I think 1, 2 are locks. And then from there, it gets interesting. Sling Blade on Keith Lee, by the way, folks. Will someone please explain why they have squash match like this in a marquee television show? Gary, every once in a while, you need a squash match. So I know it's not the most exciting thing, but if the guy's over in the right way, kind of what they had going with Wardlow there. It didn't matter who he came out and beat up. As long as he came out and destroyed somebody, we take the squash matches all the time to build up who he was. But you got to get over. You got to get that point over. You got to make him a beast. Make it quick. They did. Did the promo hurt him a little? Maybe, but that's what you want. I'm okay with an occasional squash match. You need it. You need it sometimes. You can't. That's the problem. You can't always have guys going and girls going over each other. For your main part of your show, you can't just keep switching victories. I mean, we talk about WWE doing that way too much for the longest time of just like you win one, I win one, you win one, I win one, and it just devalues both characters by the end of it. Jeez, Keith Lee on a heater. All right, Larry, I was looking for some of your comments. There's a lot going on in here. By the way, welcome to the channel, Cornelius. Good to see you. I'm not sure. Did that one get answered? Is Ethan Page going to do this job seriously? Then turn around and put them in the segment with Dan. That's interesting. I'm not sure if Nick answered this one, but I saw that too, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And the play off it right away, the complete opposite. Yeah, I mean, we could. Oh shit! Canadian Destroyer off the back of Phoenix. Wow, good match. Who else is sitting on the edge of their seats right now, guys? I heard this guy is a rapper. Are we talking about Bronson again? It's really interesting that Hook and Bronson are going to wrestle together. This match going to be good, but I think it's obvious Swerve and Glory is retaining. Yes, I concur, Pink Ranger. Thank you for being here again tonight. Wow, Swerve plants. Any bit is amazing, folks. Where are we going with this? So, as Pink Ranger pointed out, it is obvious because Swerve in our glory, pick up the W. And we got company. Boom. Yeah, Victor Nash, good call. Match was fire. I agree, Damien. I'm a big fan of the Lucha Bros, though. I'm biased, but that was a hell of a match. It sure picked up the show. Wow. It's not even really a rap. He's just going to. All right, all right, all right. Wow. A little bit of a different vibe tonight, a little more serious. Scissor me daddy, son of a bitch. They got merch. Oh, Zachary. Touche, touche. Now, some of that might be attributed to injury, but still a very valid point, Zachary. Ooh, scissor me daddy. Things you never thought you'd say on a wrestling show. Match is fire. The Acclaimed have arrived. Listen. Yeah, the Acclaimed come out and they just basically set up next Wednesday, part of the Big Nick extravaganza. I'm gonna put that on the thumbnail, I think. But yeah, no, we are going to get a tag title match between Swerve. We're gonna get that rematch, and it's a good chance that the Acclaimed walk away with the belts. Bump in the road. All right. Neville's upset about something. Zach, we're going to speak about it. Trust me. There you go. There you go. There you go. Bump in the road. There you go. That was a horrible looking punch. Orange Cassidy just knocks out Pac. Just one punched him. Boom. Not for long. Juice Box is going for the All-Atlantic title. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think, folks? As we head back into another commercial, let me know. How do you feel about that? Out of nowhere, we get the blindsided punch, and apparently OC is looking for some gold of his own. You're probably going to win it, too. I can't wait because I'm shocked by that. The PWN 500 runs June from what I heard / read. It runs from June to June. I thought you were telling me about some Japanese wrestler. I'm like, what number did June make? Yeah, that's part of it, right? Is the time frame in which it was running, and again, it's the criteria. It's so hard, but to me, I felt like, especially in the case of, I don't want to get into it too deep, but in the case of like Paige, I feel like because he was a champion, that merited a higher ranking. But what if his title run was hot garbage? That's where I'm like, I don't know. But lots to talk about, lots to debate, and we will get into that a little bit more, I do believe. Can't wait. I got that one. Cornette calls Cassidy the mascot. Yes, and pockets and a whole bunch of other things. I think Jim Cornette's slightly wrong about Orange Cassidy. And again, I think a big part of the problem with Orange Cassidy is the booking of Orange Cassidy. I think that's where you get in a little bit of trouble.
Or he's slightly right about Orange Cassidy.
You might be slightly right as well, but
right.
No, I think here's the thing. The one thing I think gets ignored is he's over as hell. If the crowd is losing their mind for somebody, and I equate it to something like the Hurricane, where Shane Helms had his gimmick. It was playful. He was never going to be a champ. We all knew it was goofy, but people went nuts for it, so you send him on out there. You don't put him in main events and let him go over on random people, but he can give you a decent match in the lower to mid card forever.
Well, I mean, he got lucky that the match worked out with Ospreay and everything, because that match had me about ready to just lose my mind.
It was a hell of a match. One of them,
right? But that's the thing is, it's astounding to me that Orange Cassidy can wrestle matches like that, but still wants to continue to do just this joke of a gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, well, see, but it's over. Like, does he have to learn? The fans go nuts for him. We can't deny that. The crowd goes insane. They love him.
And they did for the Young Bucks, and look at how that worked out.
Yeah, but that's not the same comparable. what I'm saying is he is your mid to lower card. He comes out, everyone gets a laugh and a giggle and a cheer. So I get it. He has his place in the show. He's not going to be a champ, or he shouldn't be a champion. Maybe a mid-card champion once in a while, again, because he's over with the audience you have. Similar to, like I said,
well, so then
a Mizdow,
right? But
Shane
when you booked
Helms,
him with Wardlow, how'd that go?
Yeah, but that's booking too. Like, yeah, but that's because Toni booked it wrong, and you can't put those baby faces in that situation, especially when you have Wardlow on such an absolute heater. Going back the other way is just completely silly.
But that's who he'd have to take the mid-card title off of.
No, he just knocked out Pac.
Oh Lord, no.
He did. He knocked out Pac.
No,
and
don't do that.
The Lucha Bros lost to Swerve in our glory.
Well,
which makes sense.
Well, and now that it's announced that we're getting the Acclaim versus Swerve in our glory next week, I think they might do a little bit like what WWE did with Kai and Sky and just, correct an error that they should have never made in the first place.
It feels like
with having them go over.
Truthfully, I want to see them lose in Long Island by like a cheat. I want to see them get fucked. Excuse my language. I want to see them get screwed, and I want to build that heat for Swerve and Lee, and let the chase go a little bit longer because everybody wants it so bad now. Don't just flip over and give it to them. At least make them buy you dinner.
But everyone wants it so bad now because they should have done it at all out, and they never did it.
You can't always get you can't. I think
but that would be fine. Okay, with you can't always get what you want. That would be fine if you had an actual plan and an actual idea and an actual direction for Swerve.
Yeah, but that's a default. I mean, let's assume that if you're we're operating from the sense of what should happen, how could it play out, what makes sense. So let's just ignore the fact that this guy probably will drop the ball and just be something weird completely.
Yeah, you have to give him like a handicap.
Like the Bucks come out and re-win the titles out of shock.
Well, I mean, I know Toni might be handicapped, but I didn't think we needed to give him a handicap. If you're supposed to be Booker of the Year and everything, you should be able to, book situations correctly. You shouldn't need, us coming through and be like, nope, you should have done that. You could have done that. That would have been better. That would have been better. And be able to do it in like 10 seconds. This isn't a lot of deep thought going into this. This is literally you're looking at it on paper, just the same as he is, and going, you managed to mangle this up somehow.
Yeah, but I mean, I think for the kind of what we do here a lot is, I mean, we look at the mess setters and go, okay, how do we get out of this and make it kind of how do you salvage this and maximize what people can pop at, right? And you're looking for those memorable moments. And I mean, again, there's multiple ways to kind of approach it, but he's really got to build this now. Like he's really got to dig in and give the fan base something to be excited about and get that buzz going beyond just your core audience. And you really do have to get out of this. I think it's kind of, at this point, it's a bit of a, they're on a losing streak a bit. They need to kind of.
Well, that's the thing with this is there shouldn't be this much mess to clean up. That's the problem. And right now we've got
shit happens.
A lot of shit's happened.
It's not like the other companies haven't ever had their pickle barrels, right? Even the WWE went through hard times of nonsense and fights in the back, and
was it this public?
Well, I mean, I blame the internet. Come on now, that's almost hard to be fair. It's one of the more epic stories ever, but again, news traveled slow back in the day.
I get that, but I still almost don't feel like if the Brett and Sean thing happened today, it would have been this level.
Oh, absolutely, it would have been. If it was a fucking leak machine industry the way it is now, imagine the things we would have found out for sure.
But the leaks only come from one company, and that company is the only one that has EVPs still as professional wrestlers and still on-screen talent.
That's so funny. I'm like A, B. You're like D, E. I'm like, where are we going?
Exactly. Loop it back around.
Wardlow should be selling for nobody right now. Ding.
Completely agree. And for those following along right now, we've got
I forgot about the rest.
Serena Deeb and Britt Baker versus Athena and Toni Storm right now in the ring. I've got Deeb and Athena in the ring, and I honestly think Athena is the one that should be holding the AEW Women's Championship right now.
Interesting. And they have another person that came into the company that like, oh my God, she's here. Where'd she go? Hello.
Yeah, she's such an underutilized talent, and she even was in WWE. I was a big fan of her then, and I'm still a big fan of her. Birthday cake, what? Ice cream cake, what?
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 Way to go.
Apple pie, what? Cupcakes, what? Dessert, what?
Jarrett Angle TNA. I missed it. Where are we going with that?
Edge Hardy WWE. I guess we're probably talking about angles that were backstage situations that they ended up playing out on screen.
Yeah.
Like you talked about. And to me, that's you fly too close to the sun with that of you've already had enough of that play out. We don't need more. Mm-hmm. You don't need to go deeper before you fucking hope you pop out on the other side smelling roses and daisies.
Dude, sometimes you just gotta get deeper. Sometimes
once this isn't Shawshank Redemption.
Sometimes you just gotta dig in, bro. And I think what I like about this right now is, like I said, let's say this was just an absolute shit show and he's just completely inept. Hopefully, this is a rude awakening. Maybe his dad reads the internet a little bit and goes and has a father-son moment, like a Leave It to Beaver moment on the edge of the bed. Like, now, Tony, like. I mean, maybe this is the epiphany. Maybe this is the kick in the head he needs. Maybe he's a kick in the head. But at the end of the day, he does have a chance. And if I was him, I'd be looking for a way to take all this chaos and all this rumor and all this bullshit and turn it into money. And he's gotta turn it into something. And the littlest thing will set off the internet again. And we saw the views and the spikes and the ratings go up. I bet it's a lower rated show tonight.
Right. But you can do that without leaning into the elite, without leaning into Punk. You do that of, now I know I'm going to have eyes on me. So here, I'm going to put my talent out there and they're going to just have good matches. And I'm going to actually be Booker of the Year. I'm going to actually shine on MJF. On John Moxley, on Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho. You think you're so great when everybody else is mostly accurate and thinks you're mid? Go ahead, go out there and try and show them what you're actually worth. That's where Tony should rely on this, not on well, let's just air out our dirty laundry on national TV. No.
Well, no, that's never the plan, dude. It's as simple. It's like this for me. And just remind everybody, I got picture in picture. Deeb and Athena are going back and forth. If you haven't made a prediction on the tag team match yet, please do so. And we are rolling along. We got about 40 minutes left in the stream. We'll see if there's any spillover. But back to your point, Nick. I mean, there is. I don't know. I keep kind of going back to the idea that, again, if you just don't address this, if there's, what do we think the suspension is? Like, we're seeing people come back after 1 week. Are the Bucks back next week? A month? What's Kenny doing in Japan? They have to find a way to get some semblance here. They're not just upset employees, they're EVPs. So even those stories about, they put out feelers, that shit is bullshit, because legitimately, you should instantly be stripped of those titles to show no brand loyalty. Because what? You got in trouble, you got in an incident, you took your punishment, come back like a man, you'll be fine. But no, we were putting out feelers in it. Well, fuck off. Like, Jesus, the using Meltzer the way they do, it's abusive.
Oh, well, they should have already instantly that night been stripped of any sort of EVP duties, anything like that. Just thanks for coming, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But it's still one of those. I still feel you need to use this as a double-edged sword of, look it, I have now all these eyes on me because of what you idiots did. So I'm going to push the talent that you guys, overshadowed, overbooked, all of that. And also you kind of stick it to them because now See, look at the ratings that I get. See what I do without you, Kenny. What I do without you, Matt. What I do without you, Nick. What I do without you, Punk.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, the show goes on with or without those names. And again, we've talked about it time and time again, Nick. And by the way, the match has been all right, pretty good, not bad.
I keep tuning in every time like Athena and Britt or either one of them's in the ring. Honestly, Toni, I feel like
Meteora.
Toni, I'm a little
cold
not
tag.
As high on as I feel like everybody else seems to be.
Maybe not, but big crossbody. Rolls in. All right, Deeb's got her.
Deeb just eating strikes right now. Oh, wow, that was a hell of a super kick from Britt.
Right.
And it's interesting how Claudio has been on record saying how Deeb's someone he could see joining the Blackpool Combat Club.
Who? Deeb? Yes.
Yes.
I second that motion. Absolutely. If I left you guys a heartfelt message. All right, let's go find the heartfelt message.
I think I saw it, but we might need Google Translate or JV to translate.
Right.
Yeah, see? Yeah, I ain't even gonna try. So JV, sorry, not sorry, but I can't read that because I don't speak Spanish. So
do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
So repeat yourself. Sorry, I love him.
All right now I got
roll up.
What do you got?
Wow.
Roll up. We got
okay.
Oh, Toni.
Interesting. So Deeb and Baker pick up the 1, 2, 3, and now Athena's laying waste, especially to Britt and Deeb after this match. So,
question: has Toni Storm successfully defended that belt yet?
No, I think. Well, no, she won it all out, and then I don't think she's had a title defense since then.
Okay, so the first time we see our new women's champion that you want us to believe in, she goes under and takes the pin. Stomp on Athena.
Jamie Hayter.
No, is this finally it?
Oh, she's the one who does it. Well, she does have an absolute, she has a historic, kind of rivalry with Toni Storm. But I do 100%.
Right.
Back to what you were saying of this is how you have. Oh, and well, we've still got a bit of the back and forth between Hayter and Britt because she's, I'm seeing you. I got you.
Man, you know what, though? I kind of like the idea of Deeb aligning with Britt. It solves Deeb's problem.
Right.
And they would be formidable, and they still do their singles thing. It just gives Serena a bit of a mouthpiece.
Well, and it gives Britt, another enforcer. And I guess they're finally still starting to do what I've been saying now for months, folks, is Jamie Hayter is going to turn on Britt Baker.
Yeah, right? Like what? Samoa Joe versus Josh Woods on Rampage. Rampage shaping up actually kind of nice.
Oh, yeah. I'm here for that match. I'm, a fan of Josh Woods. I think he's honestly more talented than Tony Nese if we're going out of the smart mark guys.
Right. He tried to kill me. But now we're getting a little package with Smart Mark.
Yeah, Smart Mark, Josh Woods, and Samoa Joe. I do like that we're going in this angle versus just how many times are we going to get Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal? Samoa Joe.
Yeah, no, I'm over that whole thing.
Yeah.
And we never really got, they looked like they were building to, Joe versus Satnam, but I think even they realized that's not going to be good. No, let's not do that. This is much better. I'm a big fan. I remember watching Josh Woods' debut, and even back then, you kind of you saw that he had a different gear. That
former Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling champion, he's got very much a storied background in Ring of Honor. But even
Really
like
does.
we said, too, with Rampage, we were also getting Hardy versus Darby Allin. We're getting,
Right.
Rampage is starting
Penelope
to
versus Willow.
really.
I think that's what I saw. Let me know.
I'm just liking how Grand Slam's starting to shake up. Oh, and we're getting a 4-way announced now at Grand Slam between Toni Storm, Serena Deeb, Athena,
Grand Slam's going to be
and
a
Britt
good
Baker.
show.
So we're
folks.
getting a rematch essentially.
Buddy, you're getting spoiled on your birthday. It's a good
shush!
show.
You got Death Before Dishonor, so shush.
This is
What
kind of
comes
like
around
mini.
is all around.
This is like mini death.
Right. So what comes around is all around. Action Bronson and Hook versus
Did you say
Daddy
what I said
Matt
differently?
Manon and Cool Hand Angela Parker on Rampage as well.
Pac versus Orange Cassidy for the belt.
But see, when have we been with WWE sitting here rattling off like, can you? Hey, folks, we got
That's
this
a lot
match
of
coming up. We got that match coming up.
Oh, the main event. I guess that's the main event coming up next.
Oh, absolutely, it should be. And if they give them, a good bit of time and everything, I'm here for that. Granted, it shouldn't be really. Is this a rematch anybody really wanted to see? Who would you really have wanted to see when it comes to this AEW tournament? Because it looks like to me we're shaping up to Bryan versus Moxley, and I'm still saying we're going to end up with MJF walking out of Long Island as world champion. But I will get to JV's comment now. What's good, my people? Let's celebrate Big Nick's birthday next week by standing together in the fight against mental health. Remember that together united, we can make a difference. So tune in next week. Absolutely, JV. Thank you very much. I heard but didn't hear. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. KA's whole spiel about my birthday coming up next week and everything. But absolutely, be a friend, tell a friend if you are going through anything. Speak up, let somebody know. You can't deal with that problem if you're not talking to anybody. And if you're not going through anything like that, just talk to somebody, say hi, let somebody know, hey, I'm glad you're here. The world's better here with you in it than it ever will be without you in it. Absolutely. You have no idea what something like that could mean to somebody. So absolutely be a friend, tell a friend. But I am in commercials, so I will try and get through some of these comments. But again, thank you so much, JV. Yes, that was Spanish very much. Sorry, I only speak English. Joe. I really don't want Dr. Brett. Damien, this is now the second time you've called her Brett Baker. What do you know that we don't know? But you don't want her as AW champion for a while. That's your opinion. Well, she did also have the best reign so far as AW Women's Champion. So maybe we kind of revert back to kind of the standard now that we're in this state of chaos. I still don't think right now, I agree with you, she's not the best choice. I think Athena or honestly even Jamie Hayter would be a great choice. And even with Jamie Hayter, the feud writes itself when Thunder Rosa comes back. So you still have that built-in feud. So I think there's better options than you retread like they kind of did with Moxley, like they hopefully won't do with Jericho as world champion. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm surprised that we're getting a rematch of that so fast, especially after just All Out happened last weekend, I believe. Victor, I'm calling it now. Danielson wins and goes to the finals to face Moxley. Yes, let us know, folks. Let us know your predictions right now because we're getting Chris Jericho coming out. So we're getting Jericho versus Danielson, and the winner is going to face John Moxley next week on Dynamite in Long Island for the AEW World Championship. I'm taking Danielson. I think KJ's right there with me. I'm very much not a fan of Chris Jericho, and I still, at the end of the day, think that Mr. MJF is leaving with the AEW World Championship. Danielson better win. Yes. And it's Oh, really? We've got the streamers and all of that, the pomp and circumstance, like the Young Bucks too. But it's funny to me. Sorry, I was about to say, and welcome back, sir. But it was interesting how you don't get that sing along quite as much as you do with Judas as you do like with Seth in WWE.
It's definitely faded over time. I think it's the law of diminishing returns on this one, where I mean, there's still some fans, but they're still reading the lyrics off their phone, which blows my fucking mind. You don't know that song, the words yet? Like, really?
I don't want to remember that song.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's an earworm
whether you
song.
Hate or love Jericho, Judas is catchy as shit, and it's been a good sing-along. In the early days, it was dope. Then he started milking it, and then he became a heel, and it didn't make sense, and
it's his special moment. Remember, it's his special moment for the fans.
That's like
both.
Right? Like,
both is a thing. Both.
What's C? Can I take C?
Right. Both good. Both.
That's like, apple pie.
If you've ever seen the road to El Dorado, you'll get that. Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Jericho's in the ring, and again, he's supposed to be a heel, but he's milking the crowd.
Well, because he still thinks he's the second coming. He's Jesus H Wrestling is Chris Jericho.
I know this one's addressed to Nick, but that's a slam dunk for Jade.
Whose run was better?
Well, one's still going, and it's been undefeated.
I'd take Britt on that, honestly.
You're mad.
Which run drew more eyes to the company?
Touche.
Which one had a match that you can literally still to this day speak about and everything?
Touche.
Right. Exactly. It's a slam dunk. Jab.
I still think Jade's had the better overall run. She's been dominant. Yeah, she hasn't had, I get it. She hasn't had a marquee kind of moment, but with the build, and I think she's going to beat Goldberg's record. So we'll see where it's going. When Jade loses the belt, we'll do another assessment. But you have very valid points.
For me, it's one of those of beating Goldberg's record at this point. The more Goldberg keeps going, is how much does that still become a compliment?
How annoying would that be? She better beat it by 5 or 6.
Well, it's one of those. How much is that still an accomplishment versus that might be more of a hindrance or a detriment?
Right. Every time she thinks she beat the record, this guy comes back and has 2 matches.
Yeah, I'm still undefeated.
Dale's got Bryan for the win. What did you guys have out there? Who are you picking tonight? I see a lot of people tuning in. If you're new here, we are the Wrasslin for Life Network. We do this almost every day of the year. We come back with our original content. We have our live podcast, our weekly podcast. It will be on Saturday this week. So tune in, click that little bell so you know when we're going to pop up. But the Let's Rumble podcast, we're going to do a special Saturday edition to accommodate everybody's busy life. But Dale's got Bryan. Who do you got, Nick?
I got Bryan, and I was just going to say, and as far as tomorrow goes and everything, we either might be here, we're going to be here regardless. We might be covering Impact. We might be talking about, the PW Insider, that whole, the PW Insider 500. We might be talking about that, but we'll absolutely be here talking pro wrestling like we always are.
Right on. We got a clip to the back where Daniel Garcia is rubbing his belt and watching the match intently.
Phrasing, sir, phrasing.
Hey, I'll just call it the way I see it. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Well, are you sure you're on the right webpage that you're watching that on?
Oh.
Garcia's back stroking something.
Daniel with the drop kick to the outside. Off the apron.
Yeah, so who do you have?
It's got to be Bryan. It's got to be Bryan.
Yeah.
But I do think now, based on everything I heard tonight and everything I witnessed tonight, it's hard for me to feel like Moxley's not going to win this and then get absolutely screwed by MJF. And in any place in the country other than Long Island, it would be an epic nuclear amount of heat real quick. But it's going to be an explosion of epic proportion if he pulls it off.
Oh, absolutely. But now, do you think that so if we're going that route to where no matter what, Moxley wins, or unless MJF comes out tonight and announces it a 3-way, so who do you have, say, Moxley going over that MJF then beats Moxley for?
I'm trying to connect the dots of what you just said. I think
Moxley. So who do you have winning this match? Because
Bryan.
Guaranteed win. He'd have to go over them.
No, I think Bryan's gonna win, and Moxley and Bryan are gonna have a really good match. But Moxley's gonna just barely beat him by the last breath. It's gonna be one of those like they both semi pass out when he's got an arm on his chest, and then he's ripe for the picking for MJF to come over and do the job that he needs to do.
I still almost feel like we're going to get Dynamite going off the air tonight with MJF announcing that it's going to be a triple threat.
That's interesting.
I feel like that's how you get you sell out that arena. If you haven't already, you sell that out in seconds. You get clicks constantly of tune in on Wednesday night because MJF is going to probably win, at least be competing for the AEW.
We're about to put some asses in seats on this
right.
one.
To quote Tony Schiavone from the other defunct company that he worked for, that'll put some asses in seats.
Right. Who's a bigger star, DMD or Jade? Overall, I mean, Jade's kind of got it, right? Because overall, a bigger star. I think Jade's more of a household name than Britt, right? Overall.
What?
Well, because of hanging out with Shaq and such, man. To forget, she came from somewhere else. Like she didn't just walk in off the street. Britt was a dentist.
Oh, you got to make me say something I don't want to say, but
I don't think we can really argue with that. Am I crazy, folks? Britt was a dentist. So now
do you remember Jade being on those pictures? Do you remember those pictures because of Shaq? I think you remember the pictures. Are you on drugs? Right, but no, I think you remember the pictures of like.
I think there's a lot of pictures out there where if CJ was here right now, he'd be climbing up one side of you and down the other going, we remember lots of pictures with Jade. She looks like $1 million. She's a star. She has an athletic background. She was a bit of pop culture before she got to the wrestling world. So it was when she got here, everyone already kind of knew who she was. So overall, she's a bigger star. We're not saying she's accomplished more as a wrestler or has, had more 5-star matches. Just saying as a overall personality.
Don't try and paint me like I'm going full Meltzer here or anything like that. But no, I absolutely would say, and I guess this is my opinion here, folks, is that DMD is the bigger star than Jade Cargill to me.
Bryan throwing a headbutt, create a Long Island incident. There you go. I agree, Larry. I agree. I'm with you.
Right.
So the year is 1983. What match was a better match? Jimmy Snuka versus Don Morocco, steel cage, MSG for the IC title, or Flair versus Race, NWA heavyweight title in a steel cage at Greensboro Coliseum?
Listen, man. We ain't about to get into that right now. I could answer it, but we ain't about to get into that.
Yeah, we got a main event between JV. Right, how did that even end up on your mind? We got a main event.
Right, we got a poor man's crossbody spot, but like Ricochet and Carmelo is what Jericho and Danielson just tried.
It's more like the old guy version.
Right, the old guy. Might get the elevation.
It's the grown-ups version of the move.
Right. The dads are trying to recreate what the kids are doing, folks.
And that's such a hard call. I mean, Snuka had the big moment, but Flair and Race was a hell of
a Flair and Race. And
everyone just remembers that big moment.
Two guys that are going to tear the house down, and I'm not even going to go into the whole Jimmy Snuka thing. But no, Flair and Race are going to very much would tear the house down on any show they were on.
Nick, we're talking about TK, so no way in hell is Dynamite ending with MJF. Why not?
The man came back with voicemails from TK. So,
was there multiple?
Either way, still
doesn't change the argument, KJ. One. I said what I said. Damn it, Nick, cut the shit.
What?
I felt good about that one. What? There you go.
That guy's not here.
What is happening on this one? KJ, my fave Joe match, Samoa Joe versus Brock. Brock was on the verge of passing out. His face was like, shit, I'm not supposed to lose. Does one move and wins. That's a good Joe one. Joe's got a bunch of, he's got a nice library of classic matches.
Him and Angle and TNA.
What's that?
Him and Angle and TNA.
Him and Angle, him and AJ.
Right.
Yeah, no, Joe's got. I mean, I get that it was a kind of a crazy moment, absolutely, but I don't know. It doesn't stand out sometimes. It gets lost in the shuffle of the WWE. We got one vote for Snook and Morocco. They're JV holding the poll.
Right. And I've got Jericho going for a 2 count right now.
I'm in picture in picture, and that was a horrible
I
spot.
have that, but I'm paying attention to the smaller picture.
All right, I was squinting. I prefer Flair versus Race, but Snook and Morocco was more influential. Yeah, more eyes, bigger stage, MSG, hard to compete with.
You can have that. That ain't even what I'm mad at.
I'm not sure you know what you're mad at this point.
Right.
And 3 for Race and Flair. There we go. Edging out.
Right.
For the old school fans. While we're in picture in picture, I will remind everybody again as we head down towards the final little bit of our night to night. We do this like 340 days a year. Tune in, like, subscribe, be a part of the fam, be a part of the show. It's a channel for fans, by fans. We cover every brand. We cover WWE.
What?
AEW.
What?
GCW.
What?
XPW.
What?
Impact, New Japan, and everything in between.
What?
Do not stop, folks. If you like wrestling, this is the place to be. We'll keep you up to date. If there's breaking news, we'll pop on and cover it. We'll just talk it to death. Trust me. If you want to know all the ins and outs about a topic, we'll be here to beat
every angle on anything that could ever happen in professional wrestling. We got you covered.
We treat the rest of the news and topics like Gunther treats Sheamus's chest.
Just beat the shit out of it.
Right, just hamburger meat.
But no, and we do still
Jericho up top, by the way.
A bunch of
Rana
ideas floating around, kicking around, But if you have anything you want to see from us folks, absolutely
from
leave
us
a comment below the video, not in the chat. Leave a comment.
In the comment.
Right.
Kick out. I think he kind of just rolled out. Jericho's like, I'm blown out. I cannot kick out.
Jericho's got the Goldberg problem. He was blown out before he got in the ring.
Another vote for Race and Flair. He's got him locked. How do you feel about that?
Toni Storm cut her own hair. We often sell that, right?
What?
She does a little bit look like she cut her own hair, but what?
Terrence, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here tonight. I found it crazy how in 1 year you had 2 influential steel cage matches. I think a part of that, JV, was back in the day, the moments were rare. You weren't getting, a weekly Carnage. You weren't getting, some type of stipulation match all the time. And then the events were big events, and it was just a different era. What?
I was gonna say, as Jericho's laying in, his own kind of devastating elbows, and Danielson's hulking up, just eyeing at the championship. But just look even at 2022 alone, and look at the amount of quote unquote historic, influential events that have just happened just this year alone. So if we're gonna split hairs and look at 2 influential cage matches, Christ, you could go month by month with 2022 and look at influential historic moments that have happened in professional wrestling. So it's not hard to see that something like that could happen in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, now, you look at the year we've had this year. I mean, we kind of set an all-time record. By the way, the boys are chopping each other back and forth. If you haven't made a prediction, if you are watching right now and you haven't gone to the chat and gave us a prediction on who's going to win this match, do it. Why wouldn't you do it? You're here. And if you're lazy, put a J or a B. We'll figure it out.
Just don't flip those, please.
Pause.
Matt
Hardy is blown out. Permanently blown out, Zach. I don't want to see Hardy fight. Do you think Hardy fighting Darby is a way for Darby to turn Hardy back into Broken Hardy?
Probably. It almost feels like you're trying to rhyme something like nerdy or something like that with. Does the Darby smash a Hardy? Does Hardy end up Darbying?
Right. If a Darby smashes a Hardy in the woods and nobody's paying attention, did it really happen?
If a Darby coffin drops a Hardy, does a Hardy break?
Right. Chops again. Jericho on the apron.
Oh, Bryan might have hurt his foot, a la CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Happy B-Day Road Warrior Animal. Rest in peace. Truthfully, one of my favorites of all time. Jericho, Bryan came down awkwardly, Nick.
Right, that's why I'm saying. Did Bryan hurt his foot, a la CM Punk? Because he's very much, he instantly went grabbing on his foot. Now he's trying to untie his boot.
He's selling well. He's selling well.
Well, and Regal on commentary absolutely helps because he's talking about like the support on his ankle.
Right.
Jericho's just like, what do I do now?
Wow. Is you know what though? Who are the two guys that stepped up for AEW?
Well, there's the three that were the ones that had the that were the leading of the meeting, and that's Danielson, Jericho, and Moxley. I see where you're going though.
Right. So what if it's possible it's as a reward to Jericho for giving that big rah-rah speech that he gave and being a company guy, that it's Jericho Moxley all over again?
Then Danielson eats another loss, looks terrible. Jericho keeps going on his never-ending "you still
trip.
Got it, please stop doing it" tour. And Moxley easily wins, and then MJF beats Moxley.
Right. So we got a bootless Daniel just getting ripped around the pole. So the good news is
one move that always to me looks like it'd be still super.
No,
painful.
don't do this. This is a bad decision. You know why? Jericho doesn't have the athleticism to do this without hurting the guy.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think a younger Jericho.
So he goes for a figure four around the ring post on Bryan, and that just looked all sorts of painful. And then even is tapping himself with Bryan's boot.
Right.
Gets a nice little chop block in.
Jericho in control, and I will say, not a bad match, Nick.
Not a bad match. I just hope we get the right outcome.
I don't know.
Jericho needs to go tour on Fozzy. Don't you have another album coming out or something, Chris? Here, I'll buy your next album, Chris, if you go take the time to go and write it.
Don't you have like an Antarctic tour you can hit?
Right. Go do another cruise. Something.
I almost went on that cruise. Darby, MJ Hardy. First, maybe. What? I don't know. Jericho chest looks like Rhodes' pec.
That's what happens when you get blown out.
Oh, shit. More elbows. They're battling. Have you made a prediction yet? Who do you think's going to win, folks?
Jericho going for the lion tamer. And yeah, now that I see it, Jericho absolutely just purple. He was a one-hit, one song flying purple people eater.
We're in what used to be the Walls, but is now a Boston Crab.
Right. But old man Jericho can't stand up the right way, so it's a Boston Crab now instead of the Walls of Jericho.
Picking on a legend.
I'll can trash Jericho until the cows come home.
No, and rightfully so. He has a European tour.
I love the man in WCW.
Well, Christmas could come early this year, hopefully.
Right.
Right.
Start now, Chris. Plan your trips now.
I have to pick Jericho, heel versus face-ish versus Moxley. There you go. Larry's thinking what I'm thinking, but it's got.
I still think you just have a slobber knocker of a match between Danielson and Moxley, or you, like I said, and I'm hoping, just because I think it'll, to quote Tony Schiavone, put butts in seats, is you get MJF announcing that he's going to be at that match in Long Island of all places. You announce that ahead of time. You fucking pack that place out. You hype it up, and then, the boyhood dream has come true.
I agree. I think it's perfect. I think it writes itself. And I think, I was just like, maybe we have a 20-minute time limit, which means they're both out of the tournament, and MJF just steps in and we get to the matter. Like, we don't need the extra matches. Let's just get to the point.
Right. Well, since we're here.
Right? Well, it seems like you're missing a day for the dance there, Mox.
Right.
Well, Jericho trying to figure out how to put a figure 4 on it. Didn't,
Roll up.
wait.
2 count. I like the sign that's very much prominent in the front row
Okay.
by a man that's wearing a star-spangled hoodie that says CM Punk owns the Bucks.
Nice.
Check.
Hilarious. Oh, I see it right front and center.
Right.
That's one
Dead
thing I
center on the
never
hard
really
cam.
catch is signage. I never really pay attention to it ever.
I just look for it from the
when it's
era.
front and center, it's hard not to.
Well, and even then, it's still funny that, you know, you always hear those stories about, oh, well, this such and such place wouldn't let me bring my sign in, this and that. That's front row, hard cam, is
Man.
CM Punk owns the Bucks.
How many times does you spend time just chilling out, making stupid signs to take to the wrestling show and just like getting out your glue sticks and your markers and your pencils and you want to make it pretty, try to be clever.
John Moxley's great at that too. He's got a paper mache forehead. The man fucking, you miss a clothesline close enough to him and he starts bleeding. So
that's what someone should make, a sign that like it's like his face,
just a paper mache, like mannequin head. It's like, just John Moxley.
Partway
bloody,
right? And it's got blood, and then let's go.
Like a fucking gusher.
We're like, guys, stop brainstorming. There's a match on.
Right.
They're going for the label lock. Forearm strikes instead.
I got the label locked in.
Oh, he got him. He's got
Bryan
him.
Just pulling at Jericho's nose, everything.
Get him.
Tap.
Jericho. Let him go. Tap.
Yes.
Put him over.
Yes. Your winner and going on to face Jon Moxley in the finals next week for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Bryan Danielson.
Game over. Big win, and then he got this one right. Like I said, we had to be. Daniel can't keep going under. He's too good, and you totally burned him out. Like he's like an old useless match.
Well, he's become old reliable. That's the thing. That's the problem. Is for the longest time you're like,
you got to stop going
you
under.
Could do better, but you keep just losing when you should win.
There you go, Combat Club finally.
But who leaves with the title?
Yeah, so the way I see it, Nick, and maybe I'm crazy, call me a mark if you will, but literally I think Bryan and Mox are going to pound the living shit out of each other. And when they barely have anything left is where the Vulture swoops in and
absolutely, just to pick the remains. And I do like I like the reaction we're getting right now. We've got Moxley coming out, and I do like his hoodie. It's unscripted violence written on it.
I like that hoodie a lot, actually.
Right. And now you've got him and Danielson just eyeing each other up while Regal's up on commentary just like, oh, crap, what's happened?
Is he?
Oh, yeah, I saw him very much just kind of looking down and like, oh, wow.
But you think the role that Regal finds himself in now, you think he'd almost be like, this is lovely.
A little bit, but they're going to go at it. That's the thing. He knows these two guys are going to tear each other apart. Remember, these are the same guys that tore each other apart to kind of found the Blackpool Combat Club that Regal showed up and was slapping the hell out of them.
Yeah, but I will give him credit. We were completely critical of the Trios tournament, how it played out. This is best case scenario, Nick, for this tournament. These were the two guys that should have ended up in the final, and they did. Congratulations, Toni.
And you get the nice little handshake and everything to close out the show.
Right? In a nice way, the big handshake. And people are going to be looking forward to that match. And you guys can let me know in the chat if you are looking forward to seeing that final at Grand Slam. Moxley, Daniel, whether MJF walks away with the belt or not, dude, it's going to be a hell of a match.
Oh, well, I think Boss even said it perfectly right there. A classic coming up. Absolutely. And those two going in the ring, and they're going to get time because it's a world title match and everything. Absolutely. That's going to main event the show. That's going to be probably match of the night, if not match of the week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it could be it could be more than just match of a week. It really could set the tone, especially if there is a twist.
Right.
especially if there is some type of swerve or some type of shock. I think you're going to get a quality wrestling match first, and then whatever comes. But I really do think it's going to be it's got the potential to be one of the more memorable cards of the entire year of 2022. Grand Slam could be an unbelievable remix night for Toni. So he needs a win. He needs a big W. He's taken a lot of kicks to the shin lately. So we'll see if he can pull it out of his ass.
Right. But now that you've said that, Mox kind of seems like the signed, seal, delivered winner of this, that MJF then kind of picks the bones from of. What if it's the other way and we get MJF versus Bryan going forward?
I don't know. Like, he just cut such a hard promo on Mox, dude.
Who would you rather see in a promo off, though? Mox and MJF or Bryan and Mox?
Right now, the way this is, Mox and MJF appeals to me more. Bryan's a little more bland in this case. I think right now this is edgy. They're talking about his past. It's got an authenticity to it. What are you really going to say to Bryan? Like, you're vegan.
You don't think you could get a Miz versus Bryan type of, kind of angle out of this?
But as of right now, as I sit here, I think the more interesting angle, what they've already started to foreshadow is Moxley and MJF right now. Because, I mean, just the way it aligns, I think that's more. I just think it's compelling story.
Fair enough.
Edward gives the show a 7 out of 10 tonight. If you're new here, folks, feel free, give your rating on the show out of 10. We do it for all the shows. What do you think? How do you feel about the show? And if you don't want to give a rating, just you give us a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Name a number.
Pick a number, any number.
Right.
For the love of all that is holy, please let Bryan Danielson beat Moxley in the finals. The only way I want that to happen is if Bryan leaves Long Island with the belt. That's the part. If Bryan wins it, I want him to keep it.
I don't disagree with you, but I still would want to see Bryan versus MJF.
I understand that, but I think it takes. I think again, you can work towards that, and I think
right.
Bryan winning it, and you're like, oh, he finally won it, and then lose instantly. It takes the luster off it. When he does win it again.
One thing that Tony's managed to get right, and it's actually because of his own planning and not because of people saying stuff, leaking it to reporters and media scrums. There's actually compelling action and storylines going on.
7 out of 10 as well from Damien. 7 from Larry. BCC chance. That's it. It's going to be a good match. And we saw what they did to get to develop this bond between them, and they bled together. And then the whole Regal moment.
Yeah, the founders of BCC now, go at it for the AEW World Championship.
And I mean, could it potentially cause a rift in the BCC?
Right. Who are you taking?
Well, you know what could happen? Garcia helps Bryan, and it's Bryan's little heel turn.
Oh, within the BCC. But then you get MJF's the top heel. You can't have another.
Yeah, it's kind of stomping on.
Right. It would be like Punk at the scrum. You stomp on his return. Now you stomp on him winning the title too.
Right. That's shit. Dale says 7. How can we argue with the fans? I'm going to go 7 too.
Oh, I like this though. KJ, the vulture in a scarf.
Right.
I'm not a vulture, but I am wearing the scarf. I'm going to say 8.
Wow.
I'm going to go one above and everything. I'm going to say
you were trending
8.
about a 0.5 below me all week. And so Wednesday.
I like that we're now keeping track of that. But yeah, I'm going to give this an 8. So far, granted, we're only 3 nights in. This, to me, was easily the show of the night or the show of the week.
To this point,
I'm compelled to watch Rampage, surprisingly, on a Friday night. Yeah. And I'm very much entertained, not just because it's my birthday, but to watch Dynamite next week.
It's because it's your birthday. No, it's going to be a good night next week, folks. So don't forget, be at that stream and tell everybody you know to pop in and say hello. It's, it's a special day.
Say hi.
So it's Ryan or Moxley. I think we jumped on that, but I think it's going to be Mox, and I think Mox ends up losing this belt to MJF one way or the other.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters who I pick to win that match because I think at the end of the day, MJF leaves with the belt.
Touche. I think that's the way I would do it.
To me, it doesn't matter whether. Sorry, go ahead.
I just think you have no choice, and everybody's anticipating
Right.
it at this point. I think you got to feed the beast. I think you if you want that groundswell, you got to give it to everybody.
You have to. This needs to be a landmark moment for your company, Toni.
Yeah,
your back is against the wall, and who do you want to stamp your flag in? Mox, Danielson, or MJF? Pause.
Stamping his flag in. Relax. But yeah, no, that's a very valid argument, Nick. But that's where it's kind of like when we knew Punk was coming back. That anticipation, where it got to the point where, like, if he doesn't come out, we might riot. And he fed the beast. He just let that explode. And this is, again, he has a chance to kind of do it here in Long Island. You know, on a couple, he could do it twice.
Oh yeah,
right.
Well, and it still even reminds me of back to kind of it being Bizarro World in Long Island of like, remember when Punk came out in Long Island and was wearing a
John Tavares? Yeah.
And then Punk or MJF comes out and just the crowd's just in the palm of his hand. It's very much like what he did in Buffalo. The man's so talented, he can get you eating out of the palm of his hand and booing the piss out of him because he can't get his hand out of his dress shirt in the same sentence.
No, I completely agree with that, and I agree with Toni here as well, Nick. That I mean, when I say Moxley's going to win this, I'm not saying, oh man, I want Moxley to win this. In a perfect world, Bryan wins this tournament and goes on a run. However, there's a juggernaut in MJF right now that you can't ignore. So for me, Bryan falls short by some way, somehow. And I think that's why else would MJF come out and cut such a hard promo on Moxley if he ends up facing Bryan?
Is that
a hard dog, you know?
Right. Well, to piggyback on that, is that what then makes Bryan kind of snap? And then you get him and Garcia, and it's just Bryan goes on a tear of just he literally goes back to that Ring of Honor kind of Daniel Bryan, the American Dragon, and just goes back to just beating the piss out of people.
Yeah. It's curious how they're going to get there because I like people have heard me on the stream. I don't want to see Bryan continually go under. I don't, but I feel that's where it's got to be. I think that's the angle you are on right now. And I feel like I said, it was foreshadowed tonight. He didn't say a whole lot about Bryan at all, if anything. And fact checkers out there, if he shot on Bryan and I missed it, let me know. But for him to make it personal with Mox, it just seems it would be wasted if they don't do it now.
Right.
6 out of 4 equals 54T. All right, Hassan.
All right.
Divided by the square root of. Chris says 7. It's pretty consistent across the board.
I think most people have been saying kind of Nick or wow. But I have been saying kind of 7 out of 10. But it's going to be Nick's birthday next week. What? Yes, it is. What? Yeah. On Wednesday. What? Got a charity going on Instagram. What? Find the social and the link in the chat and everything like that. What? Go and donate. What? Going to be kicking off with MJF walking out of Long Island with the title. What? The Acclaim versus Swerve and Our Glory. What? Fatal 4-way for the women's title. What? Kicking in every night like we always do. What? Me and KJ White and Mr. CJ Brand. What?
What is up? Nice, buddy. But Mox, Daniel, or Mox, not answering that yet. Mox, Daniel, or Mox.
All right.
There's too many people in the equation.
Right.
Carlos, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. Danielson should win and hold the title for a couple months. He deserves it. He's a reliable and consistent worker. MJF will have his time. He can wait a little bit longer.
MJF's time is now. Sorry that you fumbly-bumbly with Daniel Bryan, but MJF's time is now. It's been now. It was his time all the way back when he was feuding with Punk. It's not my fault that you sign everybody that WWE released and you don't know how to use talent. That's your problem, Toni, not mine. You already, hitched your wagon to Hangman and let that shitty-ass storyline ride it out. So why not go with the hottest thing you've had going this whole time? The man that wasn't even on camera, we were still talking about with MJF.
Yeah, man. I think the problem for me is if we were on a normal little run here, you could probably get away with making MJF wait a little bit. But it's this tricky Grand Slam in Long Island that's the little bit of a hiccup. I mean, I think if you bypass this opportunity, you're missing an opportunity to do it on a really good level. And some people say, well, hold out to the pit. You can't hold out to full gear. You can't let this cool off. When he walks out through the curtain, the crowd is electric. And that does have an expiry date. It will diminish over time. The best get to keep it longer, but everybody fizzles out and has to come back and revisit it, Nick. You can't just keep doing the same thing. So for him, it's this moment. I think the way it's lined up, it just makes sense. And I think the place, and that's what I want. I want the reaction.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing is now with everything that's been going on in AEW, Tony's back is against the wall. He needs to very much never ask me in promos. Listen, Vic, you got to get your ass, on here before us to what?
That's not true. We already had him in a promo, and if you guys are looking right now on the at the screen, our boy Vic rocking one of these lovely, lovely t-shirts. See, we concluded Victor.
Yeah, you're clear now. What?
There you go. The honorary member of the fam, the moderator is his wrestling name. If you guys didn't know that, yeah, no, Victor.
The mod of the pod.
Right, Victor looking sharp in his wet t-shirt. So
what?
As you can see, yeah, what we've got a few of those tonight. Mr. Every Night. Yeah, wear to the bar. Let everybody know what you're up to. And then of course the CJ, cut your shit when you're sick of everyone else's shit or bad booking or back locker room brawls.
Yeah, when you're, having someone throw a steel chair in your face and you need to tell them cut the shit, make sure you're wearing a CJ cut the shit t-shirt. Mm-hmm. But no, I feel like very much Tony's now got his back pressed up against the wall. He needs to do something that's going to make headlines in a positive way. Daniel Bryan's very much one of those that if he does win it, he needs to leave Long Island in that. But I feel like you're then missing out on the opportunity with MJF. I still thought that man should have walked out of All Out with the championship. And then you wouldn't have had to have this whole tournament. Maybe the whole situation plays out differently if MJF's leaving the arena as champion instead of Punk.
Part of me thought that was... Yeah.
Go ahead.
We talked about it the night of, Nick, where you really thought that could be the outcome at All Out. That could have been the moment. But... Right. I mean, some would argue, why would you not do it on All Out? Why would you save it for a free television show?
Why would you give away the match before on free TV and then turn around and have it less than a week later on pay-per-view? What? Why did you have the Devil come out and, win the, Joker's Wild, whatever ladder match they're calling it? What? Stokely Hathaway won the...
There you go. We got it back.
What? But he didn't even, come out and win the championship to end the night. What? Could have ended it better off than that. Could have avoided this whole backstage skirmish. What?
Well, technically, Arthur Ashe Stadium is in Queens, not Long Island. We're close enough.
Listen,
I know.
Don't
work with me here.
Play semantics and everything like that. So then we've got the Jersey Jets and the Jersey Giants because the Buffalo Bills are the only team that actually plays in New York.
Right.
So let's not start splitting hairs because you ain't gonna like it when it goes the other way around.
Right. Victor, I was kidding. I know you were, buddy. We're always kidding. We're always playing around, and that's what family does. No, we do.
Right.
But you do look sharp in your t-shirt. So go out, folks. Go to Alt Wrestling Tees. Get your t-shirt. Check them out on social media. You can reach out at altwrestlingtees at gmail.com, or you can go to Redbubble and check them out there as well. All the links are below. And yeah. Thank you, Victor. Thank you for being
this man styling on profile.
The official model.
I was going to say, yeah, the maximum male model, the maximum moderating male model of the chat. The man that popped me 10 minutes into the stream showing up wearing my t-shirt and everything.
There you go. Next week's main event between Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley is going to be fire. I'm looking forward to it as well, Damien. Pink Ranger. Yeah, you know what I meant. Like we're on his doorstep. He's going to feel pretty good about it.
Right.
I still live the Giants. There you go.
Well, that's good because if you've been living for the Giants, I'm glad you've made it this long because they very much have not given you much hope. But
I like AEW, but Tony Khan's booking can be so trash and confusing at times, and over people might turn away from the show. That's what he's trying to correct, because I mean, if he loses his network deals, he's got a pickle. So he's got to start. He's got to make sure the shows are quality. They got to make sure that they're delivering a product that people want to tune into. That you're not always pushing the envelope in the wrong direction or pushing it too far. And I think his booking's in question now. It was easy to say I'm the Booker of the Year when nobody was playing against you, but now there's a game going on, and you're being left behind.
Right. I'm the best in 2K when I'm playing against the computer, and then I play online and get my ass smashed and everything. Pause. But yeah, for
cut the shit. Yeah, great show, guys. Thank you, Pink Ranger. Tony Khan finally booked some good wrestling matches and put together the right people. It was a better show. 2 main event level matches. A couple things in the middle that weren't great, but overall the show was pretty good, pretty okay. Right. I liked it. Not bad, not great, not wonderful.
I gave it an 8. I
gave it I gave it an 8. Leave me alone.
Right. I thought it compelled me. It with everything that's going on, it was the best show so far that we've seen this week, and I think it still might end up being the show of the week, because we got a good match in Jericho versus Danielson. Moxley versus Guevara was all right. Throughout the show, we got a bunch of good matches, and we got a lot of good teases towards stuff that's coming up.
Right. Rampage actually looks like it's a pretty decent card. It's
right.
Pretty solid. So I'm looking forward to Rampage this week. Of course, folks, we will be back tomorrow. Stay tuned. Click your little bell, like, subscribe, join the family. If you haven't joined us yet, you are missing out on all the wrestling coverage that we bring, and nobody grinds and brings it the way we do. We are here all the goddamn time. We love doing these streams. We will be back as well Friday, doubleheader Friday. We're looking forward to Rampage. As we said, we get a SmackDown to start it all off. And, if it's pro wrestling, we're going to cover it. We're going to do a stream for it. We're going to give a reaction for it. So stay tuned. We got more updates, more programming coming your way, more content coming your way. We're not stopping. Nick?
Why?
Not a bad night, but I think this question's for you.
An 8. Why? I just explained why. Because, okay, so WWE did really well at intertwining storylines. But the in-ring quality was lacking. AEW had better in-ring quality and similar, I would say, with the storylines intertwining. It made you excited for Rampage. It made you excited for Dynamite next week. And guess what? We didn't have a single mention or a single moment involving the Young Bucks. So hallelujah.
Well, I mean, and again, it helps you retain your audience when you don't have that. So
right. It's hard to be an EVP and try and say you're the top talent when 2,000 plus people click off the second you return back from a year off of injury.
That was Kenny's fault, not
right.
Did you just dump on Kenny? You love Kenny.
Doesn't mean I can't, poo-poo on you too.
Oh, all right.
Everybody can get it.
Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Nah, we're not getting into that. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
We'll talk about that, yeah.
But that's crazy. Number 1 contender. Wait, out of that. Yeah, we were talking about that. I don't want any of these teams to win.
New Day.
Well, yeah, probably. No, but they just beat them. I'm looking forward to another Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs match. Yeah, it better be better than a squash match, that's for sure.
I think that was good if that's going to be the first of like 2 or 3 matches. And yes, CM Punk owns the Young Bucks is what that sign said.
No.
Actual.
Yeah, no, I mean, it made me laugh. Front and center, too. I like it.
Right.
So, but with that being said, folks, we are the Wrasslin for Life Network. I am KJ White. That is Big Nick. We will be back tomorrow and through the rest of this week. Like, subscribe, tell everyone you know. And don't forget, next Wednesday, Dynamite right here, Grand Slam, honoring this man. We're going to do some charity work. We're going to, talk to the peeps about donating and helping out. But tell everybody you know. Honestly, I want to see at least 100 thumbs, right?
Earmuffs.
So we're going to give them, 1 thumb for every year we want them to be around. So
whoa, hold on. Where you put them thumbs, sir? Pause.
And on that wonderful note, folks, have a good night. We'll see you on the flip side.